You ever have one of those weeks where you wonder if the universe is running some kind of social experiment just to see how much nonsense you'll put up with before you snap? Yeah, that was me moving into my dream place up in the mountains thinking the hardest part would be wrestling a sleeper sofa through the front door, not dodging the neighborhood association's version of the Secret Service clipboards. Bright vests the whole parade. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me back up a second. I bought my condo downtown back in 2020, a 1,500 square foot slice of almost perfect with prices climbing fast enough to make me feel smart for once in my life. It was all I could have wanted. Walkable streets, decent tacos, live music, a gym around the corner. Those first couple years, not bad at all. Most folks were friendly. We'd swap tools, grab each other's packages, even gossip about the local raccoons. And every building's got at least one troublemaker. Ours was Joni B., 66, a widow with too much free time and a taste for drama. Joni, well, she was ending her 8th year as HOA Queen Bee. Didn't work, so she went all in on managing our little kingdom, poking her nose in everyone's business. The word was, she and her sidekick bullied their way through board decisions like when they replaced all the mulch with river rocks, which surprise just turned into windshield cracking projectiles. And they let the grills and picnic benches rot because they didn't like the crowd that hung out there. Joni would feed stray cats, draw in possums, and then scream at neighbors who complained. Nobody liked her, but most just kept their heads down. Me, I got married in 2023, my wife moved in, and we kept things simple, neat. Joni, meanwhile, found herself a boyfriend, Ray, way out in the sticks. Suddenly, she's only around once in a blue moon, mostly living at his place, which would have been fine by me if she'd just stayed there. Parking at our complex is supposed to be a free-for-all, 2 spots per unit. First come, first served, no assigned numbers. Just don't hog spots, don't block anyone in. And if you need extra room for a move or a delivery, ask first. But then Joni pops back up out of nowhere one Saturday and decides out loud, mind you, that the 2 spaces in front of her unit are hers, like she's staking a claim with invisible cones. She'd double park stretch across the lines just to make a point. I tried the nice route, emailed the property manager to remind folks about the parking rules. They sent out a memo, changed nothing. Then just when you think it couldn't get more ridiculous, my wife gets sick, ends up in the hospital, and my mom comes to help out. So now we have 3 cars. I notify the board, get the okay in writing. A week later, Joni's pounding on our door, trying the handle, yelling for us to move our car. My dog's losing her mind, my wife's exhausted, and I'm standing there blocking the door, explaining for the umpteenth time, there are no assigned spots, it's approved now, please leave us alone. She just storms off and parks across 2 spots, business as usual. It doesn't stop. She starts leaving notes, crayon scribbles, claiming these are mine, and I start taking photos every time she parks like she's playing Tetris with SUVs. She even leaves a dent in my door frame once banging on it with her keys. I keep the emails, the photos, everything. Then out of the blue, Joni's boyfriend's son shows up, beer in hand, screaming in the parking lot that he's going to tow our car because his mother-in-law pays for these spots. His girlfriend's recording it all on her phone, probably hoping for TikTok fame. I pull up, tell him to put the beer down and back off. And when he threatens to call the tow company, I invite him to try. He's got no authority and the board won't back him. He just gets louder. My wife's on the porch, hands on her belly, pale as a ghost. I finally call the cops. Joni rolls up, parks behind all our cars so we can't leave points at us like we're fugitives, and orders us to move. The police show up and I'm ready, emails, photos, every note she ever left us, all in a neat little stack. The officer issues a trespass warning. Joni so much as steps on our porch again, she's getting arrested. She tries to make a scene, stomps on the walkway just to prove a point, and they cuff her right there, disorderly conduct and harassment. Her boyfriend's son keeps mouthing off and drives off. Cop pulls him over a block away and busts him for DUI. Suddenly, the lot is quiet for the first time in weeks. I think it's over, but nope. Joni dumps Ray's SUV in the lot and vanishes, taking up space like she's haunting us from a distance. The manager checks Ray isn't a resident. They tow the car the next day, not long after Joni's unit goes up for sale. Me, I sold my place too and moved on. I still keep all the paperwork just in case. You'd think that was the worst of it, right? Wrong. Because then I bought this rough timber A-frame on a snowy mountain lot, thought I'd finally escape the HOA circus. First day moving and the clipboard parade starts again, a convoy of SUVs, people in puff jackets barking that I can't move in until my color scheme is approved, that I owe fees and need to schedule a welcome inspection. I just stand there, jaw on the ground. This house isn't in your association, I tell them. Never has been. Some guy in a ski jacket insists they annexed my parcel last fall, says I'm subject to their rules now. I tell them to back their cars out of my driveway. County sheriff shows up, takes one look at the paperwork I've got, and tells the HOA folks to move along. This is a civil dispute. If you want to muscle someone, take it to court. But these people don't know how to quit. By lunchtime, they've taped violation notices to my door, staked stop work signs in the snow, and even parked a truck across my driveway to measure compliance. I record everything. They start threatening fines, say they'll put a lien on my place. I call a lawyer, lay out the mountain of documents, and he's shaking his head in disbelief. Turns out their annexation is just a piece of paper with my address typed on it. No signature wrong. Legal description. No consent from me or the prior owner. My attorney fires off a demand. Letter demands they stop contact, stop trespassing, and quit pretending they run my property. They ignore it, so we take them to court. That first hearing, the judge isn't having any of it. The HOA's lawyer tries to spin it, says the board voted to bring my parcel in. Judge asks, do you have the owner's consent? The answer is no. Judge grants a restraining order, tells them to back off, or else, and later issues a judgment declaring my property never has and never will be part of their HOA. Orders them to pay my fees, update their maps, and stop harassing me. And just to make sure the judgment gets tied to my parcel number at the county so nobody can pull a fast one down the line. You know what the best part is? Not the legal win, not the check for fees. It's when the county road guy pulls up one day, hands me a form and says, your road's always been public. We're glad you spoke up. Sometimes folks forget where the line is. He laughs, welcomes me to the neighborhood, and I realize I finally get to just live here. No committees, no threats, no strangers measuring my snowbanks. My dad tells everyone I won a lawsuit my first week in the mountains. I let him have that one. Sometimes I get letters from neighbors asking how to check their own titles, and I help them out. The old HOA is still across the street, still planting signs, but it's not my problem anymore. I wave at everyone, most wave back. A couple turn away like I'm the ghost of legal battles past. That's fine. I've got my place, my papers, my view. I hang wind chimes, stack wood, watch the sun hit the ridge. The only camera alerts now are from wildlife. You know, there are a lot of folks who get steamrolled by people like this because they're too tired to fight or they don't know their rights. But there's a reason we keep records, a reason there are lines on maps. You can't just declare someone's home yours because you want to be in charge. The system works if you're stubborn enough to push back. So that's my story, how the HOA sent the sheriff to keep me from moving into my own home, how a stack of paperwork and a decent judge turned the tide, and how sometimes all it takes to shut down a whole circus is one person willing to say, move your cars. What do you think? Is it justice luck or just plain stubbornness? Drop your take in the comments. Have you ever gone toe-to-toe with an HOA or a community that just wouldn't quit? I want to hear your story. Let's see where you stand on this one, because if you ask me, standing your ground is the only way to really feel at home.